Ariana Grayson felt her heart race as she searched through her purse in a frenzy, surrounded by the bustling crowd of the upscale mall. Absolutely not, she whispered, her stomach churning. Her phone had vanished. She either left it in the cafe or, even worse, it had been taken from her. She let out a sharp breath, her irritation growing. She found herself in a predicament, needing to reach out to her best friend who was meant to pick her up. Yet without her phone, she felt utterly stranded. Ariana's anxious gaze flitted about until it settled on a man positioned by the entrance of a high-end boutique. He stood tall, his dark hair styled with an air of ease, draped in a tailored black coat that complemented an expensive-looking shirt beneath. He exuded a subtle assurance, the sort that caused others to instinctively step aside for him. Ariana paused briefly, gathering her thoughts before moving ahead. "Pardon me," she said, her tone filled with regret. "My phone is missing. Could I possibly borrow yours for a brief call?" Quentin Vaughn cast a quick look her way, his intense blue eyes meticulously examining her features. He was in the midst of glancing at his watch, evidently anticipating someone's arrival, yet there was something about her that caused him to hesitate. Many would have identified him right away, Quentin Vaughn, the billionaire head of Vaughn Enterprises. Yet this woman, she was completely unaware of his identity. He arched an eyebrow. "You've misplaced your phone?" "Indeed," Ariana replied in a rush. "I simply need to reach out to my friend. I assure you, I won't keep you waiting for long." Quentin observed her for a moment longer before silently offering his elegant, state-of-the-art phone. "Thank you," Ariana exhaled with relief. She swiftly punched in her friend's number, but was greeted by the sound of voicemail. With a frustrated sigh, she attempted once more, but silence persisted. Quentin observed her with a hint of amusement. Many individuals who came to him sought business opportunities, favors, or his attention. This woman merely sought to place a call. "Not finding success?" he inquired. Ariana let out a soft sigh, her fingers gliding through her dark curls. "No. Feels as though she abandoned me." Quentin inclined his head. "Are you in need of transportation to a particular location?" Ariana's eyes fluttered open and shut. "Oh, I really can't do that. I insist," he said with a calm confidence. "You find yourself in the heart of a bustling mall, utterly cut off from any means of communication. Allow me to assist you." Ariana paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. There was an undeniable quality about him, a soothing timbre to his voice and a comforting aura that enveloped her, instilling a sense of unusual safety. Nonetheless, seeking assistance from someone she didn't know wasn't typically her style. She nibbled on her lip. "I wouldn't want to impose on you." Quentin let out a soft laugh. "Believe me, it's absolutely no hassle." He retrieved a key fob and pressed a button with purpose. Ariana's jaw almost hit the floor when she caught sight of the sleek black sports car parked right outside. She gulped. "That is indeed your vehicle." He offered a subtle nod. Ariana fixed her gaze on him. He didn't merely radiate confidence. He radiated affluence. Yet she set the thought aside. At that moment, she required transportation, and he was extending his assistance. "Okay," she replied, letting out a breath. "Thanks a lot." Quentin opened the passenger door for her, and she glided into the luxurious leather seat, as if she had just entered a realm beyond her own. As he drove onto the road, he stole a quick glance at her. Where to go from here? Ariana revealed her address to him. As they drove, she found herself unable to resist stealing glances at him. He navigated the car with an ease that seemed almost natural, embodying a confidence in his demeanor. After a brief pause, he inquired, "What were you up to at the mall?" Ariana released a soft chuckle. "Primarily browsing the displays. I found myself lost in thoughts of unattainable desires." Quentin raised an eyebrow. "You seem like someone who values experiences over possessions." She gave a slight shrug. "I do not. Yet, there are moments when it's delightful to imagine." He responded with a soft hum. They arrived at her unassuming apartment complex. Ariana faced him, her smile radiating gratitude. "I truly appreciate it. Your assistance has been invaluable to me." Quentin reclined in his seat, a sense of ease washing over him. It was a delight. Ariana paused for a moment, then delved into her purse, retrieving a compact notebook and a pen. With a swift motion, she jotted down her thoughts, tore the page free and passed it to him. Her number, she mentioned. If you ever find yourself in need of reclaiming your phone. Quentin released a soft laugh as he accepted the paper. Understood. Ariana swung the car door open and stepped out into the world beyond. Sleep well, Quentin. His gaze held on her for a moment longer. Sweet dreams, Ariana. As she approached her building, Quentin couldn't help but fixate on the sheet of paper clutched in his hands. Many pursued him for his riches, his network. Ariana was unaware of his identity, yet she had undeniably made an impact on him. After a considerable stretch of indifference, Quentin Vaughn found himself captivated. Quentin Vaughn was not the type to linger on transient meetings. His days were carefully organized, his time far too precious to squander on fleeting interests. As he settled into the plush seat of his chauffeured car the following morning, poring over reports for an impending merger, his mind began to wander to thoughts of Ariana Grayson. It wasn't merely that she was completely unaware of his identity. She moved with an air of authenticity, completely unbothered and indifferent to the influence he possessed. Such occurrences were uncommon in his realm. "Excuse me, sir?" From the front seat, his assistant, Daniel, offered a prompt. Quentin blinked, bringing his attention back into focus. "What is it exactly? Please confirm the details for the charity gala scheduled for this Friday." "All is in place." He nodded, his attention drifting away. Instead, he delved into his jacket pocket, retrieving the small slip of paper she had entrusted to him. Her contact information. He ran a finger along the ink, lost in thought. He was not one to pursue anyone. For the first time in years, he felt a desire to reconnect with someone, not for business or strategy, but purely for the joy of their presence. Without hesitation, he directed Daniel to discover her workplace. Ariana tightened the strap of her apron, letting out a breath as she steadied a tray filled with coffee cups. The cafe buzzed with energy, the morning crowd in full swing. She glided between tables with effortless grace, placing drinks down with a courteous smile. Lila, her closest friend and colleague, gave her a gentle nudge as she walked by. "Your focus appears to be elsewhere." Ariana paused, contemplating her response. "Yesterday, I encountered an intriguing individual." Lila's eyes grew large with surprise. "Hold on, did we meet?" "As in, a possible romantic encounter has occurred." Ariana let out a dramatic sigh, her eyes rolling in exasperation. "No, I recently borrowed his phone. That has to be the dullest tale I've ever heard from you." A chuckle slipped out before she could contain it. It was quite engaging. He certainly was. She sought the perfect expression. Captivating. Lila arched her eyebrows playfully. "Did you manage to catch his name?" Ariana sensed a gentle upward curve at the edges of her mouth. "Quentin." Lila grimaced. "That resonates with financial potential." Ariana dismissed the notion with a shake of her head. He was kind. Quiet yet kind. Just as Lila was about to delve deeper, the bell above the door rang out. Ariana spun around instinctively, ready to welcome the newcomer, but the words lodged in her throat. Quentin Vaughn lingered at the entrance of the cafe, his aura captivating even in such a relaxed atmosphere. He exchanged his tailored coat for a sharp button-down, sleeves rolled up just enough to showcase his strong forearms. His eyes swept through the room, but they found her immediately. Lila emitted a soft, stifled gasp. "There he is." Ariana took a deep breath. "Absolutely." Quentin made his way to the counter, his face a mask of inscrutability. "Ariana." She cleaned her hands on her apron. "Quentin, what is happening? What brings you to this place?" "I longed for the chance to meet you once more." Lila emitted a choked sound and quickly retreated, yet Ariana hardly paid any attention. She found herself preoccupied with the bewildering twist her morning had unexpectedly taken. "You wish to meet with me?" she reiterated, filled with doubt. His lips curled into a subtle smile. "Is that really so difficult to accept?" "Indeed, that is the case." He offered no further details, yet the fervor in his eyes sent a subtle tremor coursing through her. I would appreciate the opportunity to take a few moments of your time. He pressed on. If you have some time available. Ariana surveyed the bustling cafe. I am currently engaged in my work. Quentin's gaze darted to the queue that was steadily growing behind him. I understand that. A moment of stillness hung in the air as he delved into his wallet, retrieving a handful of fresh bills and placing them on the counter. For the upcoming hour of your time. Ariana's jaw almost dropped in disbelief. It's not as simple as that. I am capable. His tone exuded tranquility and confidence. And I have just accomplished that. She gazed at him, then shifted her focus to the cash. It exceeded the value of an hour's labor by a significant margin, perhaps exceeding her weekly earnings. This is unacceptable to me. She voiced her objections. I'm not requesting that you do. She crossed her arms. Is your straightforwardness a constant trait? He pondered that for a moment. Absolutely. Ariana shook her head, struggling to suppress a smile. All right, I will inform my manager. Moments later, she found herself seated opposite Quentin in a quiet booth, still grappling with the unfolding circumstances. She inclined her body slightly forward. You found me. What is the reason behind this? He held her gaze with steady resolve. I was curious to find out if what happened yesterday was just a one-time occurrence. Ariana's expression darkened. A coincidence? It's rare for me to encounter individuals who aren't seeking to benefit in some way from our interaction. She observed him intently. So what do you believe I'm after? His lips sealed tight, as though he were weighing a decision. Silence prevails. That is what sets you apart. A peculiar warmth blossomed within her chest at his words. Yet she set it aside. That still doesn't clarify your presence here. His fingers tapped softly on the surface of the table. This Friday, I will be attending a charity gala. I would appreciate it if you could accompany me. Ariana's eyes fluttered open and shut. Excuse me? The occasion will be of a formal nature. He pressed on. I would certainly arrange for a car to pick you up. She looked at him as if he had completely lost his sanity. Are you really inviting me to accompany you to an upscale gala? Indeed. She emitted a brief chuckle. Quentin, I work as a barista. I feel out of place in an environment like that. His expression remained steadfast. You have the power to decide your own place in the world. The way he expressed it caused her to momentarily lose her breath. Yet this was utterly wild. What makes me the one? She inquired, truly perplexed. His gaze locked onto hers, steadfast and unyielding. Because you are the first person I've encountered in years who truly understands me, beyond just my name. Ariana took a deep breath. She found herself at a loss for words in response to that. For an extended pause, quietness lingered in the space separating them. Then, defying all reason, she found herself nodding. Very well. I will go. Quentin's lips formed a shape that resembled a smile, though it fell just short of being one. He promised her that he would handle it all. Ariana sensed a profound shift on the horizon, one that promised to transform her existence in ways she had yet to grasp. Ariana stood before the full-length mirror, her breath hitching as she absorbed the sight of her reflection. The gown cascaded around her as if it were custom-made, a rich sapphire blue that sparkled in the light, embracing her silhouette before trailing into an elegant train. The material was more delicate than anything she had ever experienced, the detailed beading on the bodice reflecting the light from the chandelier above. She hardly recognized the person she had become. I still can't believe this, Lila murmured from behind her, arms crossed as she leaned against the wall of Ariana's small bedroom. A billionaire provides you with a personal shopper, a designer dress, and a stylist, and you're just standing there as if this is completely ordinary? Ariana pivoted, gliding her fingers across the fabric of the dress. It's quite unusual. Feels like a dream. That's quite the understatement. Lila regarded her with caution. Do you really believe this is the right choice? You hardly have any familiarity with this individual. Ariana paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. She had pondered that question repeatedly. Yet there was an undeniable allure to Quentin Vaughn that captivated her. something that transcended his riches and power. He had pursued her, not for transactions, not for fame, but purely because he desired to share moments with her. She confessed quietly, "I can't explain it, but I have faith in him." Lila let out a breath, her head shaking slightly. "Well, if he ends up being a hidden serial killer, at least you'll depart in style." Ariana chuckled, a flutter of excitement stirring in her stomach as a polished black car glided to a stop outside. Her heart raced as she emerged from her apartment building, the night air refreshing against her skin. The driver swung the door open for her, and she gracefully slipped inside, enveloped by the rich aroma of leather mingled with a hint of something undeniably masculine. At that moment, her gaze fell upon him. Quentin positioned himself opposite her in the softly lit space, his eyes steady as he absorbed her presence. He wore a timeless black tuxedo, the sharp lines accentuating his strong shoulders, the open collar hinting at just enough to quicken her heartbeat. "Take a look." He hesitated, as though he were in pursuit of the perfect expression. "Stunning." Ariana sensed a gentle warmth rising along her neck. "Indeed you do." His lips quivered ever so slightly, yet he remained silent, merely observing her as the vehicle drifted away from the edge of the street. The journey unfolded seamlessly, with the city lights cascading into a blur. A palpable tension lingered in the air, not unpleasant but electric, as if an unvoiced understanding hovered between them. "You really didn't need to go through all this?" Ariana said at last, motioning towards the car, the dress, the whole scenario. He responded with a straightforward, "I wanted to." She observed him intently. "What is the reason behind this?" His fingers danced softly against the armrest. "I wanted you to experience what it feels like to enter my realm, even if only for an evening." Ariana's expression darkened. "But why am I the one?" Quentin's eyes remained steadfast. "Since you never inquired about any of it." Her breath hitched. His words carried a certain rawness, revealing an unexpected loneliness that she hadn't anticipated from someone like him. Just as she was about to reply, the vehicle decelerated, coming to a stop in front of a lavish establishment. Vast glass doors shimmered beneath the warm glow of golden chandeliers, while a luxurious red carpet unfurled ahead of them. Ariana felt a knot in her stomach. "Quentin, I'm feeling a bit lost with this." He faced her, his expression a mystery. In that moment, he grasped her hand confidently, his touch radiating warmth as it met hers. "Just remain by my side," he whispered. "That's everything required of you." She took a deep breath as he emerged first, then extended his hand to her. Flashes of cameras erupted in an instant. Whispers floated through the air as attendees and photographers acknowledged their entrance. Ariana gripped his hand more firmly, acutely aware of the burden of countless inquisitive stares. Quentin leaned in just a bit, his voice a soft whisper against her ear. With a deep breath, she exhaled, compelling herself to raise her chin and take that initial step into his realm. The gala unfolded like a vivid dream, with shimmering gowns and impeccably tailored suits swirling around, the sound of champagne flutes clinking as servers deftly navigated the bustling crowd. The aroma of luxurious fragrance and gleaming timber enveloped the space, dialogues meandering effortlessly like a gentle stream around them. Ariana felt the sharpness of her own incongruity, yet Quentin's grip on her hand remained unwavering, his presence a constant source of stability. A man in a tailored suit approached, his smile expertly crafted. "Vaughn, I notice you've introduced a fresh face this evening." Quentin's hold on her hand tightened just a bit. "Hello Ariana, it's James Langford here." James Ariana Grayson. James observed her, his demeanor courteous yet evaluative. It was a delight. Ariana managed to put on a smile. In a similar manner, James redirected his attention to Quentin. "I take it you'll be placing your bids this evening?" Quentin's jaw tightened. "I'm still weighing my options." James let out a soft laugh. "That's unprecedented." Ariana furrowed her brow, shifting her gaze between them. "Are we placing bids?" Quentin let out a breath, his fingers lightly grazing his cufflink. "An auction is scheduled for later. Items from exclusive collections, unique encounters, and similar treasures. James wore a sly grin. Vaughn often leaves with the most coveted item of the evening. Ariana raised an eyebrow. Is it driven by desire, or perhaps a fear of defeat? Quentin's lips quivered slightly. Either option works. Ariana glanced at Quentin after James chuckled and stepped away. Do you frequently indulge in extravagant spending simply because it's within your means? His expression became gentler. Not every time. She inclined her head. And this evening, he observed her intently for an extended period. This evening, my focus lies elsewhere. Ariana's heart raced. Just as she was about to reply, a woman approached them, her crimson lips forming a sly smile. Quentin, she whispered enticingly. I was starting to wonder if you would actually arrive. Ariana tensed as the woman's eyes swept over her, evaluating in a manner that left her feeling like an intruder. Quentin's voice carried a calm demeanor.
Victoria.
The woman Victoria regarded Ariana with a subtle hint of amusement. And who might this be? Quentin's hand moved to the small of Ariana's back, his touch steady and assured. Ariana Grayson. Victoria's smile remained unwavering. Yet, a certain intensity flickered within her gaze. A delight, she remarked with a polished tone, despite the truth being quite the opposite. Ariana held her gaze steady. Similarly, Victoria redirected her focus to Quentin. I take it we can expect to see you at the auction? Quentin's jaw twitched with tension. Time will tell. Victoria's lips curled as she sauntered away, leaving a palpable tension in her wake. Ariana glanced over at Quentin. Who might that be? He breathed out, his fingers curling gently against her back. A person who has a strong aversion to defeat. Ariana squinted, her gaze sharp and focused. What is being lost? Quentin's eyes darted to hers, an enigmatic look crossing his face. Myself. Ariana felt a shiver run through her as Quentin's fingers lightly grazed the small of her back. His touch enveloped her in warmth, anchoring her in the midst of the gala's dazzling chaos. The burden of unexpressed thoughts lingered in the air between them, pressure mounting like a hidden string. He had not expanded on Victoria's comment, yet Ariana was far from unaware. History lingered in that space, marked by sharp, uneven remnants. Quentin faced her, his azure gaze probing. Are you okay? She composed herself, locking eyes with him. That question is better suited for you to answer. A fleeting shadow of emotion passed over his features before he released a breath. His jaw clenched.
Victoria holds no significance.
Ariana raised an eyebrow. She appeared to have a different perspective. His fingers curled gently against her back before he let his hand fall away. She prefers to maintain a sense of control over her surroundings. Ariana observed him closely, feeling that there were unspoken truths lingering beneath the surface. Just as she was about to delve deeper, a crystal chime rang out, marking the beginning of the auction and capturing the guests' focus. Servers glided through the throng, replenishing drinks as the host ascended the stage, his voice slicing through the murmur of chatter. Quentin motioned to their secluded table at the front, drawing out a chair for her before settling in next to her. Ariana's heart raced as he drew closer, his voice barely above a whisper. Have you ever attended an auction before? She shook her head, absorbing the lavish surroundings. Not one where the opening bids likely exceed my annual rent. His lips curled into a subtle smile. Consider a decade. She released a soft chuckle, gently shaking her head. This world eludes my understanding. Quentin's gaze became gentle. There's no requirement for that. One by one, treasures were unveiled. A rare bottle of wine, a private island escape, an original masterpiece from a celebrated artist. The figures soared, attendees lifting their paddles with graceful simplicity. Ariana observed, captivated. Quentin sat in silence, his face a mask of inscrutability. Then, an exquisite item was revealed that transformed the atmosphere with fascination. A meticulously crafted diamond necklace. The design is both delicate and powerful, shimmering under the stage lights. The auctioneer declared the last item of the evening. A unique masterpiece crafted solely for this occasion. Ariana felt a sharp intake of breath as the bidding commenced. The figures surged swiftly, paddles rising in rapid order. Quentin stood motionless. Ariana paused for a moment, then inclined closer to him. "Are you not placing a bid?" His fingers danced softly upon the table's surface. "Is it advisable for me to do this?" Her brow furrowed in discontent. "Please share your thoughts. You're the one who enjoys coming out on top." His eyes darted to her, an enigmatic look crossing his face. Then, maintaining a steady gaze, he lifted his paddle. Silence enveloped the room. The auctioneer's voice rose with enthusiasm. "Mr. Vaughn makes his entrance at 500,000. A soft whisper spread among the gathering. Ariana felt a knot in her stomach. A necklace valued at $500,000. A new offer arrived, heightening the tension. Quentin remained still, his attention solely fixed on her. With a measured grace, he raised his paddle again. Ariana's heart raced. The concluding announcement echoed through the air. "Acquired by Mr. Vaughn." Applause reverberated throughout the space, yet Ariana scarcely registered it. Quentin faced her again, his voice soft against the surrounding clamor. He stated that he wasn't participating in the bidding to secure a victory. "I was placing a bid for you." Her breath hitched. "Quentin." He delved into his pocket, pulling out a petite velvet box. With meticulous care, he unfastened it, unveiling the necklace that was now his. For her, Ariana felt a constriction in her throat. "It's not as simple as that. I am capable." His voice resonated with confidence, unwavering and resolute. "Indeed, I did." She took a deep breath, her heartbeat quickening as he raised the necklace, his fingertips lightly grazing her skin while securing it around her neck. The significance of it was profound, yet it was not nearly as burdensome as the meaning it carried. As the last toast of the night was raised, Ariana sensed the instant when everything between them transformed. The journey home was silent. The city lights streaked by, yet Ariana remained oblivious. Quentin clung to her hand ever since they departed from the gala, his hold unwavering, a firm foundation. She faced him, releasing a gentle breath. "There was no need for you to take that action." His cerulean gaze fixed intently on hers. "I had the desire to." Her heart faltered, the weight of his words resonating deeply. "You're not even sure if this makes sense for us." His thumb grazed her wrist gently. "Do you sense that we lack that connection?" Ariana paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. This was utterly beyond the realm of possibility. He possessed immense wealth, reaching the status of a billionaire. She brewed coffee as her profession. They hailed from distinct realms, leading lives that were worlds apart. And yet, none of that appeared to hold significance when he gazed at her in this manner. She took a deep breath. "I'm unsure about how to approach this task." Quentin's fingers curled gently around hers. "I feel the same way." There was a quality in his voice that tightened her chest with an ache. A man of his stature wielding immense power and control, confessing that he lacked all the answers. She breathed out softly, her fingers intertwining with his. "Then I suppose we'll navigate this together." At that moment, a smile broke across Quentin's face for the first time that night. A true, heartfelt smile. Ariana felt an undeniable certainty that her life had transformed in an irreversible way. A change had woven itself into the atmosphere surrounding them, delicate yet unmistakable. Ariana sensed it in the way Quentin's hand stayed on hers, in the way his gaze held steady, as if he were committing every nuance of her face to memory. The urban glow danced through the car windows, creating transient glimmers of gold and silver upon his defined visage. She had entered his realm this evening, into a reality that felt worlds apart from her own. And yet, in the midst of all the grandeur, in the face of such overwhelming odds, she found no reason to feel daunted by him. She was starting to realize that under the polished exterior and self-assured demeanor, Quentin Vaughn was simply a man who, for reasons she still struggled to comprehend, had selected her. As the vehicle came to a halt before her apartment complex, Ariana paused, uncertainty flickering in her mind. The evening unfolded in a way that completely defied her expectations. She had expected to feel like an outsider, as if she were in a world where she didn't fit in. Yet, with Quentin beside her, she had never experienced the sensation of being submerged. He parted his lips, poised to speak, yet hesitated, holding back the words. For the first time since their encounter, he appeared unsure. Ariana shifted her position, anticipation evident in her demeanor. What is it exactly? His fingers tapped softly on his knee, a fleeting pause in the rhythm of his thoughts. I hope this isn't the final moment we share together. Her heartbeat faltered, yet she maintained a calm facade. I feel the same way. A muscle in his jaw eased, as though he had been preparing himself for disappointment. How about I take you out once more? Not to a grand event, not to anything lavish. Simply, something ordinary. Ariana's lips parted, a look of astonishment crossing her face. Among the myriad of possibilities he could have proposed, that was the last thing she anticipated. And you? Is everything okay? His lips formed a subtle arc. I can handle it. She regarded him thoughtfully for a moment. Her heartbeat was unwavering yet demanding. Very well, she finally replied. Astound me. A glimmer of satisfaction danced in his eyes. Exhilaration. He gave a single nod. On the morrow. She fluttered her eyelashes. On the morrow. It's premature. A chuckle slipped from her lips. No, simply surprising. Quentin extended his hand toward hers again, his thumb gently gliding across her knuckles. Sweet dreams, Ariana. Her breath hitched, yet she remained where she was. Sleep well, Quentin. With that, she exited the car, the crisp night air enveloping her as she walked toward the entrance. The following evening, Ariana lingered outside her apartment, her hands nestled in the pockets of her coat as she patiently awaited something or someone. She found herself uncertain about what lay ahead. With Quentin, she soon discovered that predictability was not part of his character. As a polished black car glided to a stop, she steeled herself for yet another lavish adventure. Instead of a driver stepping out, Quentin himself emerged, clad in dark jeans and a charcoal sweater. No formal attire, no official exterior, only him, her eyebrows arched in surprise. Do you have any casual attire? He let out a soft, rich laugh that resonated warmly. It's quite astonishing, isn't it? She couldn't help but smile. So, what's our destination? He waved his hand in the direction of the car. Just wait and see. Ariana settled into the passenger seat, enveloped by the aroma of leather and an unmistakable essence that was distinctly his. As they drove, the towering skyscrapers slowly transitioned into more tranquil streets, where soft yellow lights illuminated small shop windows and families meandered along the sidewalks. As Quentin finally brought the car to a stop, Ariana surveyed the surroundings, anticipating the presence of a concealed five-star dining establishment. Instead, she discovered a quaint, family-run diner, complete with checkered floors and a neon sign that flickered invitingly in the window. She glanced at him, her eyebrows arching in curiosity. Is this really what you consider a date? His demeanor was composed, yet there was an almost mischievous glint in his eyes. You asked for a surprise. Ariana observed him intently for a moment before bursting into laughter. Very well, Vaughn. Show me what you can do. The ambience was warm and inviting, with the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee and sizzling grilled dishes wafting through the space. They settled into a booth, and Ariana observed Quentin as he perused the menu with a sense of authentic intrigue, as though this were a completely fresh adventure for him. Have you ever truly dined at a venue like this? She inquired, propping her chin on her hand. His lips quivered slightly. It has been quite a while. She inclined her head. What is the reason for this moment? Quentin reclined a bit, his eyes fixed intently on hers. I wanted to create something genuine with you. Without cameras, there are no expectations. Only this. Ariana felt a sudden flutter in her chest. She found herself at a loss for words in response to that. The waitress approached, and Ariana placed her order with confidence. Quentin appeared briefly adrift as he perused the menu. She wore a sly grin, facing challenges. He let out a breath. There are an overwhelming number of options. She chuckled softly. Sure, I'm here to assist you. She gestured. A timeless choice. A classic burger paired with fries is always a winner. He nodded, folding the menu shut. Your trust means a lot to me. The phrases were straightforward, yet they ignited a comforting glow within her heart. As they dined, the dialogue unfolded effortlessly. Everything was laid bare, with no facade or concealed emotions. Quentin shared stories of the places he had visited, not from the perspective of wealth, but as a person who had once marveled at the beauty of the world. Ariana recounted tales from her youth, reminiscing about the quaint cafe her grandmother once owned, the very spot that ignited her passion for the solace found in warm beverages and serene nooks. As they emerged into the night, the cool air brushing against their skin, Ariana came to a surprising realization. Her attraction to him went beyond the allure of mystery. It was the unexpected way he had entered her life that captivated her. She had a fondness for him, not for his riches, nor for the way he made her feel cherished, but solely for the essence of who he truly was beneath everything. As they strolled toward the car, Quentin came to an abrupt halt. Ariana pivoted. "Excuse me?" He paused for just a heartbeat before moving nearer, his gaze probing into hers. "I don't engage in this," he confessed, his voice now softer. Her brow furrowed ever so slightly. "What should I do?" His fingers grazed her wrist, tentative yet purposeful. "Open the doors to others." Ariana swallowed, her heartbeat calm yet persistent. "You allowed me entry." Quentin breathed out, a subtle smile playing at the corners of his lips. "I certainly did." Then, without uttering a single word, he leaned in, his lips gently grazing hers in a kiss that was perfectly balanced, neither rushed nor uncertain. It was warm and steady, imbued with an unspoken understanding that whatever this was, whatever they were evolving into, it was undeniably real. As they finally drew away, Ariana let out a gentle sigh, her fingers lingering on his chest. Quentin's voice carried a husky timbre, gritty and textured. "Assure me that our paths will cross once more." Ariana beamed, her pulse calm and unwavering. "You'll have the chance to see me once more." And just like that, what once seemed unattainable now felt entirely within reach. Quentin held onto Ariana's hand tightly as he guided her back to the car. The night air was crisp, a soft murmur of distant city life resonating around them. Yet neither chose to break the silence immediately. The kiss hung in the air, a silent yet profound connection between them. Ariana cast a sidelong look at him as they got comfortable inside, observing the way his fingers curled and relaxed against the steering wheel before he drove off from the curb. Tonight, he exuded an air of vulnerability, a refreshing departure from his usual demeanor. She had caught fleeting glimpses of it previously, but now it felt as though the meticulously built barriers surrounding him were starting to crumble. She let out a gentle breath. "There's something about you that feels changed." Quentin's eyes briefly met hers before shifting back to the path ahead. "In what way?" "I'm not sure," she confessed. A soft chuckle slipped from him, barely audible. "That's not a term that typically comes to mind when people think of me." Ariana shifted subtly in her seat, observing him intently. "Perhaps their understanding of you is not as deep as they believe." A change rippled through his posture, a gentle release of tension. Perhaps. The journey unfolded in a serene quietude until they arrived at her apartment. As he parked, Quentin shifted his gaze to her, his face a mask of mystery. He leaned in closer, his voice low and serious. "There's something I need to tell you," he said. Ariana felt a subtle tightening in her stomach. "Understood." He paused for just a brief moment before pressing on. "This is not something I engage in. Connections. Opening up to others. It's not the person I have been." She nodded with deliberation, biding her time. Yet, he confessed, "This is what I desire." "I desire you." Ariana's breath hitched. His voice carried a certainty that left no room for doubt. Absolutely clear. He was not the type to utter words without sincerity. She swallowed, her heartbeat calm yet persistent. "Let's work through this together." His lips parted just a fraction, as though her words had taken him by surprise. He leaned in, placing a soft, lingering kiss on her forehead, then slowly pulled away without saying a word. He mentioned that he would call you tomorrow. Ariana stepped out of the car, her heart racing, not from nerves but from the realization that Quentin Vaughn was transforming into someone she couldn't bear to leave behind. As time flowed, each moment drew them nearer. Quentin carved out moments for her, a realization that struck Ariana as something truly uncommon in his life. He led her to destinations he had never imagined exploring, quaint bookstores, serene cafes, spots where no one murmured his name or sought his notice. And in exchange, she glimpsed the facets of him that remained hidden from most. The manner in which he handled aged books with frayed pages, his preference for black coffee despite the myriad of gourmet choices at his disposal, and the way he truly engaged when she spoke. However, not all aspects were without their challenges. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the waterfront, Ariana paused, contemplating her words before finally breaking the silence. At times, it seems as though I am under observation. Quentin's jaw clenched. You exist. She halted her steps. Excuse me? He let out a breath, shifting his gaze in her direction. It may not be deliberate, yet it catches people's attention. When I'm with someone, they truly listen. Ariana felt a knot tighten in her stomach. So I need to acclimate to the idea of being pursued? His expression grew somber. I will ensure your safety at all costs. She observed him intently, the gravity of his words enveloping her. This is your journey. His fingers lightly grazed hers. It need not alter our essence. Ariana took a deep breath. I simply don't wish to be a fleeting curiosity for you, Quentin. His hold became a bit firmer. You are not. There was an undeniable quality in his voice that instilled a sense of trust in her. The first time Quentin expressed his love for her, it wasn't amidst a lavish celebration or during a remarkable adventure. In the stillness of her apartment, she had drifted off to sleep on his shoulder, the glow of the old movie casting soft shadows around them. She stirred slightly, blinking up at him, and he spoke without a moment's pause. I cherish you deeply. Ariana felt a sudden catch in her breath, yet she chose not to question it. Instead, she offered a smile, her hand gently resting against his chest. I adore you as well. And just like that, it was decided. As the months unfolded, each moment solidified what had previously appeared unattainable. One evening, Quentin led her to the rooftop of his penthouse, where the city sprawled below, its lights shimmering like a constellation of scattered stars. Ariana glanced at him with a smile. This perspective remains timeless. Quentin took his time before replying. Instead, he delved into his pocket, retrieving a small velvet box. Ariana's breath caught in her throat. He extended it toward her, his eyes unwavering. Will you be my partner for life? She blinked, her heart racing wildly. Quentin. He expressed that he didn't require elaborate speeches or grand gestures. All I require is you. Ariana took a deep breath, feelings swirling within her. With a gentle chuckle, she gave a nod. Indeed. Quentin breathed out, a wave of relief washing over him as he gently placed the ring on her finger. In that instant, he drew her in for a kiss that brooked no uncertainty. The ceremony was personal, even with the eyes of the world upon it. Quentin had firmly stated that it should be for their own sake, not for the sake of appearances. As Ariana stood at the altar, gazing into the eyes of the man who had once been a mere stranger from whom she had borrowed a phone, a profound realization washed over her. Affection need not adhere to logic. It simply had to be genuine, and with Quentin it always would remain so. As they exchanged vows, and he kissed her before the people who meant the most, Ariana felt an undeniable certainty that she had discovered a love that would last forever, and nothing else held significance.